Welcome back, builders. I have a cool game to show you today, the Leviathan's Fantasy. Originally, I was planning on coming out with a video that was going to be like edited down from like 2 hours of footage. It was like, oh, should you refund Leviathan's Fantasy? It was kind of a angle to take, like trying out kind of these maybe a little bit janky builder games, and then like kind of like, is it worth your time? Do I regret picking it up? I accidentally played like 12 hours. So the answer to that video would have been no, you shouldn't refund Leviathan's Fantasy. This game is amazing. Caveat to that is, just like many in the genre here, we have a game being translated, and it is a full release, but I will say it feels, I don't want to say early access because it's not that bad, but it feels like it's still in rapid development. I have poked my nose around on the Discord server and had a great experience. People have answered my questions, and I made a couple suggestions, reported a couple bugs, and I had people working on the game that were responding to what I said. They have patched in a couple suggestions that I made about the game. So I was very, very impressed with it so far. Let's take a look here together and we'll see what everyone thinks. So, new game. First thing I want to show. So, it has a little bit of a roguelike element to it, where you have these godsend points, and we're going to be able to kind of like customize our experience here based on that. And as you can see, I have 110, which is more than the base. You get those for basically your achievement unlock. So you can see I've done some achievements here already, and I still have plenty more to go. So we're going to go new game. We're going to start with just the base Leviathan, Kun, the floating whale. So Kun, a mythical beast in legend, has a majestic and mysterious image. It has a huge body, and its wings can cover the sky and sun. Countless myths and legends have emphasized its strong vitality and extraordinary agility. As one of the symbols of Oriental culture, it implies auspiciousness, peace, and flourish. So that's going to cost us 10 points. We have to automatically spin that. I haven't tried these out, these other ones, but I believe they have different stats, and they also have different terrain for your city. But we're going to stick to just the base one, I think, for this one. Also, your initial script is kind of like the starting island we're going to explore. Again, I've only played around with Treasure Island, and I'm just going to stick to that. I'm still enjoying it, and I haven't completed it all the way through, so I'm going to stick with that. Treasure Island. The ancient parchment scroll guided a group of explorers to this place, looking for legendary treasure. However, before they could find it, the group disappeared one after another in the fog of the island. The treasure piled up among the skeletons, the mysterious cave, and the legendary fish people of the sea. All these secrets are hidden into the depths of the island with the fog. Peel away the layers of intrigue and fog and find the truth. Okay, on this one, you can pick some initial adventures if you want to. They're all purple rarity, if you will. I believe it goes green, blue, purple, orange for rarities, kind of the standards. I'm not going to pick one this time around. But you can see they have different ones here. And they have a decent variety. Like, there's like a time traveler in here. We apparently have Zeus. There's kind of like a meshing of like Eastern and Western type things. Like, we have a Viking chief here. We have some very like Suwu Kong, very Eastern type characters. Pretty interesting. We'll look at some as they come onto our island. Favorite unlocks. These are kind of like perks. I like these quite a bit. Just to show off what else we have here. So props, we can get like different skill books that we could start with. We could get some of these are like items that we can use in our shops. These are like research items that we have. Equipment that we can give out or sell to heroes. Initial buildings that I believe all these you can unlock through various means later on, but you could choose to spend some points and start with them, or resources. So for this run, I'm going to mostly pick these unlocks. Since you can't get these, to my knowledge, through game itself, they're kind of like I said, perks. So I think we're going to go with that. Let's see. All right, patience is how long an adventurer will hang around your island if you don't settle them, essentially like hire them into your roster. So I think having them hang around longer give us a more opportunity to do that. Pickup range, like picking up items, visitor gold. Okay, spiritual energy absorbed by the Leviathan. So your Leviathan itself has a level, and you gain experience kind of passively. There's ways you can influence that. So this is just going to give us another passive point. I think we'll nab that. Weight limit. So how much you can build on your island or your floating Leviathan is based on your weight limit. So I think we'll pick that up. All adventurers could have 20 more speed, they could have more HP, or they could have extra attack power. I think we're going to go with the experience, get our heroes to level up faster, and with 10 points left, extra HP. Yeah, we'll take the extra HP. Not going to pick up any of these, not going to pick up any of these. If you're just starting out the first time, I saw suggested by people, this dragon statue is really good. It increases the weight limit of your Leviathan and its energy cap. And then if you pick that, you still have plenty of points left, and you can grab some extra resources just to kind of give yourself a boost when you're exploring around. Go ahead and start in here. I have left the tutorial on, so we'll have the opening scenes here, and then we'll jump into that. Dear Lord Leviathan, please click the cover of the book to read it. This is a unique story, and as the main character, you will play as a Leviathan traveling through the game world. In the vast and boundless universe, there are countless worlds hidden within it, where civilizations take root, sprout, wither, and ultimately perish. As a Leviathan that can travel through space, you have a unique ability to draw nutrients from civilizations in various worlds and grow. I kind of like the picture book art that they're using here. You can dispel the chaotic energy, spread the fires of civilization, and restore order to all civilizations. There's our happy little whale coon flying around and making people happy. You accepted the guidance of the multiverse administration, crossed the wormhole, and finally arrived at this continent that has been corrupted by chaotic energy. Right now, you are still very vulnerable, but learning to use the power of humans to improve yourself and symbiosis with humans is the fastest way to grow. Please build a magnificent city on top of your body. And you can see, here's some of the people looking up oh, look, there's Whale Coon. Another thing I just really like about this game is the music so far. It just gives me these, I don't know, 90s JRPG vibes, kind of, but with their own twist. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I really quite like them. Sylvia here. Dear Leviathan, you finally woke up. Who are you? I'm Sylvia from the Multiverse Administration. Congratulations on arriving in the floating island world. Where is this place? As you can see, this world is made up of countless floating islands and other Leviathans. Tens of thousands of years ago, the land suffered a catastrophe. Our ancestors used chaos magic to raise the remaining cities and save the world. But now an evil, chaotic energy has disturbed the order of the floating islands, which is why you have been guided here. Do you know the origin of chaotic energy? What is chaotic energy? The ancient god of chaos, he has the power to reverse everything and disrupt the universe, which is the chaotic energy. Fanatical followers spread chaotic energy throughout the world, seeking the blessing of the ancient god. Under the influence of chaotic energy, some floating islands have become disordered, and civilization gradually declining. So what do I need to do now? Your task is to dispel the chaotic energy, and we must first establish a city here. Build a city? I like it. What should I do first? Lord Leviathan, try flapping your wings and adjusting your direction and explore the world with me. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hit pause right away, and I hit spacebar right away to pause the game. And let's take a look around here. So this is our building area. So like back here, we have like a landing pad where airships are going to come in and bring people. And they'll enter here. And I like that you can zoom just right in. So we'll get some shots of what the characters look like when some arrive here. And these are kind of the what's on our back. If we zoom over here and look down. So this is like the front of our whale. And just gliding through. And if we look around, yep. There's another Leviathan over there. I'll unpause it here. And you can actually see the other Leviathans moving around. I think that's really cool. Next, we need to find the tech in your memory and try to get what you need from it. What is tech? This is one of your talents. You can store all tech and use muse and tech points to unlock them. After that, you'll be able to use the tech to build cities. Let's light up the maintenance center tech. This is a great blueprint. I'll check it out. I'm going to repause there. Keep looking around a little bit. Which is like a, I don't even know what that's supposed to be, like a moon floating by kind of, but we're not that far away from the world, so that's interesting. And there's other things that will float by as we play. I really like the, I guess, skybox you'd call that. It looks pretty cool. So let's check out our building area. So you can see here there's some ruins. So maybe there was something here in the past. And you can click on these and various different types of buildings. We have lots of trees that are kind of blocking our building area. And then we have these piles that are like iron ore, coins, stone, some timber, lots of things there. And we can clear all this out once we get some people here. Yeah, I quite like the area. It feels a little small here. I don't know if the other Leviathans are bigger, but I haven't ran into a size constraint yet, but I definitely could see that becoming a thing, even with it just my 10 hours. So I have to see about that. I love just the details here. Like, it's not like super complicated art, but I feel like it's got decent details. Like, this is a great model of a quite common statue that you would see in like China. Love that. We've got like sun calendars. It's quite cool. All right. Light up the maintenance center tech. So one of the things that I found about this game, it does have that little layer of jank. Like, a lot of times menus have to be closed kind of manually. They won't close by just clicking off them or things like that. So just know that you have to have the ability to accept that if you're going to play something like this. So function. Let's go into our tech. So they have their tech tree here, and it's split into 4 different areas. So the first 3 are just regular buildings, and then we have these like secret, almost like a talent tree for techs. I've only ever had a few points for this, so I haven't dove too deep into them, but they're pretty interesting. We've got like guns, and we've got like elf shaman things over here, quite different things. So we've got City Foundation, which are kind of like our civic type buildings that we would use. Manufacturing, which is us building different type of things. And consumption, which are like vendor stalls or selling things to adventurers, that type of thing. So they want us to start off by getting the maintenance center here. Go ahead and unlock that. Back out of there. Maintenance center is the foundation of a city. You can use it to mass produce buildings. Wait a minute, the foundation's not money? Let's move on. Maintenance center is in our inventory and can be placed directly, but from now on, you will need to build other buildings on your own. Please try to click the building button, find the maintenance center building in it, produce, and choose a suitable location for it. Click R to adjust the direction or drag the green circle around. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go into building here, and we're gonna select our maintenance center. One of the things I like is you can drop it and you can rotate freely however you want. And so far, at least, whenever I've placed a building, like let's say I put it like there, yes, and then you just don't like where it's at, as long as you have the building menu open, you can just move it freely, which I quite like. I don't know. It's nice just to be able to make things look the way you want them to look. I'm not quite sure how much true gameplay effect like the placement of things is really going to have. Like, they do have to do some walking, like your adventures between buildings, but I don't know. It's definitely got those like Majesty vibes where like you kind of want to have that like bustling adventure city feel to it. So since this is just going to be a construction building, I'm not going to put this kind of in where I imagine our main kind of avenue is going to be. It's just going to be here, tucked here in the corner. Click yes, close that. Time to go for a second here. Nice job. Did you notice that unlocking new techs requires a large amount of tech points? What if I run out of tech points? You've asked a key point. We need to build a lab and use it to research different items for tech points in them. Light up the lab technology in the tech tree and create the lab building in the maintenance center. No problem. Just gonna pause. All right, so if you closed it, back to the function button, back to the tech tree, and these are kind of scrolling just to kind of point us in the direction. These are locked based on our Leviathan's level, so we're a level 1 Leviathan. So even if I tried to like rush down here, I could not unlock this yet. My plan is just to follow through the tutorial until it kind of sets us free, so just going to see how well it guides us here. I'm also checking to make sure that they've updated all the translations. When I was playing the other day, there were a couple things in here that were not translated that I've been told have been fixed. So we will check that out as we go. So we unlocked our lab. Come in here. Now this is one of the kind of weird ways they've done things. So in most games, you would unlock a building, you'd select the building, and then you'd go drop it. Kind of like what we did here, I guess, but then like they'd come build it. In this game, the maintenance center builds your buildings first. So think about these kind of like we're prefabbing our lab. So we're going to select lab. It asks us how many labs we want to build, and there is a reason you might want to build multiples of certain buildings, but we're just going to go with one. And it's going to cost us coins, timber, stone, and iron ore. And you can see all those resources up here at the top, along with some advanced resources that we don't have yet. So we'll go ahead and we'll make one lab. We'll let that play out. So if we go back to view here, there's our lab being created. And you can see here we could queue up 2 different build orders if we wanted something else to build at the same time. We'll just give that a second here. There it goes. All right, we're going to go to building, and now you can see that we have our lab in here. So rather than like set the blueprint down and then like workers like go to a warehouse and carry things, they like prefab it essentially, and then you're able to drop it wherever you like. And since you're able to move things freely, don't stress too much about it. Just put it where it looks cool. You can always move it later, at least from what I've seen so far. So I think for this one, I'm kind of imagining we're going to put a road that goes straight from the landing to this building over here. This is the portal. Well, we'll see that here in a second. So I kind of want this one to be on the main road, but not like crowding it. So we'll stick it back here for now. The lab is a very magical building that allows everything to be transformed into tech points. Let's give it a try. How do I convert everything? Please open the lab, place your research notes in the research field, and click the study button. Just wait a short time to convert research notes into valuable technology points. Really? I'll try it. All right, so we click that. We're going to go to lab. You also can get there through function lab. It'll take us to the same screen. Okay, so in here, it shows us researchable items. So anything that you have not researched the maximum number of, which seems to be 5 from what I've seen so far, you can select from here. And once I've done 5 timber, it won't show up on my list anymore. So they want us to do these research diaries. So if I click here, I'm just going to click max because we have 2 of them, and then start. And one of the quirks I've noticed with their UI, when you have the game in pause, some UIs don't update right away. So if I close this and hit play on my game here and then reopen it, you'll see that it's running, and I can't interact with that from here. So just know that if you're getting some weird UI things, you might just need to unpause. While we're in here anyways, I'm also going to go ahead and queue up the timber. I'm going to say research the maximum number, which right here, number of studies remaining 5. We can earn 1 point each. Takes 15 seconds to do it. Start. And they will work through their research queue, essentially. You also, once you have some workers in the town, you can assign workers to buildings, but buildings seem to always work even if they don't have workers. So we're going to get those research points even though no one's working here. If we had someone here, it would go faster. Okay, research complete. We finished those books. To build a city, we need the help of the Multiverse Administration. First, we need to establish an Adventurers Guild and get in touch with them. What's an Adventurers Guild? The Adventurers Guild belongs to the Multiverse Administration. Every once in a while, the administration will send various airships to the city, and they will provide manpower and resources. Moreover, the Adventurers Guild can also attract various adventurers to register, stay, and spend money in your city. It is the heart of a city. I will do it right now. Okay, so she asked us to go into tech and unlock the Adventurers Guild. And these all have little blurbs that you can read about them. They'll tell you, like, let's jump over to consumption, like craft stall. It will sell things of these levels, and it will restore their appreciation value. So it'll tell you what stats different buildings can affect. But for this one, we need our Adventurers Guild. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We've unlocked it. Then we go over here to our maintenance center. You also can click on the plus sign here to jump over to the produce screen. And we will make an Adventurers Guild. And we'll just speed that up quick while that's going. I love just the cozy vibes that I get from this game. It just feels really like fantasy, like cozy fantasy setting is what I've gotten from it so far. All right, Adventurers Guild. Now, I want to kind of put this over here because we're going to be using this building a lot. So we will just, oh, I saw it go green for a second. I'll adjust that better once we've cleared out things that are in the way. But for now, that's just where I want it. The airship bought many villagers, which are very useful. Let's spend some money and keep them here. I get it. I'm best at spending money. By the way, we can still build a dormitory for them so that they can stay and work for you when they have a place to live. The number and level of villager dormitories determines the number of workers we can recruit. Okay, I'll build one. Don't worry, the airship brought a village dormitory, which has been added to your storage. You can place it directly. I hope they bring more next time. All right. So they brought us a free building, which was very nice of them. We'll just, for now, kind of think like my workforce is going to kind of live over here by the maintenance center for now. And other than a salary, I don't think you have to provide anything for your villagers. They're kind of like your NPCs here. It really feels to me like it's almost like a God game where you're playing like a DM or like a game GM, or you're running a guild, like an adventurer guild. And so like these are our NPCs that we don't worry too much about. We're more focused on the adventurers themselves. And they do a pretty good job of giving them personality, which we'll see here once we have them. I'm also going to go in here, even though they're not telling me to right now, I'm going to go unlock the dormitory building, assuming I can. Yeah, village dormitory. That's what they gave us one for free, and I'm just going to unlock it so I don't forget. And each one of these at level 1 can only hold 5 villagers. So we're definitely going to want to plop some more down so we can get more people in here. All right, so they said the thing has come, but we haven't got the actual graphic yet. But I see that we have one adventurer spawned in. So let's just check her out. This one seems to be here every time. I don't know if that's because of the island we're picking, or she's kind of the tutorial hero. But we have Suki Nosha. Let's see what she spawned in this time. So she seems to be totally random, the stats that she gets. So, all right, let's take a second to actually look at these. So we've got a name, and they have like their paper doll with their gear. They have their own backpack. So this is all the stuff that she's already carrying. So she's got 2 canned meat, and she's got 2 broken armor. So they have their own like inventories and their own amount of money that they carry around. You can upgrade their gear by giving them gifts, or if you're selling it in their city, they will spend their money at your shops to buy the gear that you're producing or buying and selling in your store. So again, it really has that Majesty vibe. If you ever have played that series, it's greatly missed. It's frustrating that I believe Paradox has that IP and they just refuse to release another Majesty game for some reason. Okay, so they have favor, which is you have to fill up their favor bar before they'll apply to live here. So right now they're kind of like guests, like they're adventuring in our town, but they don't live here. If we can fill up the favor, we can invite them to move in, and that will give us greater control over them, and we'll be able to buff them up a lot better. They have like a raw combat score, just to kind of give you an idea of how powerful they are. They have various different stats that they have based on their bloodline and their skills, and I guess I'm going to call it class, but it's not really class. So for bloodlines, again, the rarity of your adventure will be based on the rarity of the bloodline they have. So green bloodline here. So she's a green hero. I think we can also see that she's not ours yet, so can't see it there. So let's take a look at what she has. Trainee warrior. Description: the Spartan warrior, the king of the arena, inherits the creed within the bloodline of the brave. Physical attack plus 25%. Belief, it will slightly improve. I've been told by, I'm sorry, I don't know if the gentleman's a dev or a translator, but somebody on the Discord that works for the company said that belief is attack value. So hopefully they will get that, either a tooltip in there or, I don't know, like a knowledge book added, so you won't have to do the research yourself. I feel like the fiddliness is almost part of the cultivation Eastern wushu type game, that it almost has to be as fiddly as those systems always seem to be. Like, and that's part of the charm. I think if you're into these type of games, you're probably also into those type of novels or stories. And so I think they kind of go hand in hand almost, which can be frustrating though, because I would like there to be a tooltip. I wish I could just mouse over that and it said belief gives you an attack bonus. All right, moving on through there. The characters themselves have like characteristics, like personalities. So this time she is diligence, will do tasks more frequently, which are kind of like quests that we can post. And apparently she's alcoholic, so she will frequently go for entertainment, which in the real world, I hope nobody is suffering from alcoholism. But in game, that means she's going to spend more money at my establishment, so that's great for me. If we click view, we can get into more stats. Now, we don't have a lot of control over anything in here until we settle them. We get that favor up and invite her to live here, but we can still poke around and look. So I think every time I've played, she's had, I guess they just retranslated this to beast speaker. So she's always had this, I believe they're called manuals, and these are kind of like your classes. So if we go to manual and open it here. Now, this is one of those spots that I found, and I've reported this as a bug, so hopefully this will get changed. When you're paused, nothing will come up here. You have to be playing to get the UI to populate. Oh, and of course my tutorial takes off. Multiverse administration is very efficient. There's already an airship headed towards us. Let's go together and welcome the airship that's about to arrive. This airship looks very shabby. Is it really useful? Airships have different levels. They need to be continuously upgraded and renovated to become more luxurious. Look, the airship brings us lots of adventures and resources. Is there any money? Airships will not provide you with money directly, but the tourists and adventurers will spend money in your city, and the villagers will help you build your city. Anything else? It will also bring a merchant who can provide construction orders, consumer good orders, and various supplies. In the beginning, completing orders of the merchant is one of the most profitable ways to make money. Okay, this airship is really slow. All right, let's repause. All right, so she is a beast speaker. That is her manual here. having that, they really need to fix that pause issue. Having that means that she's going to level that up, and that will unlock various skills and passives. So like if I look here, this is her leveling that up. It gives her the stats. Here's a skill that she started with, so she can summon a critter to help her. Looks like she's some kind of like archer spec here. And she has like various passives, like this will give her extra physical and magic attack. This will give her more agility. Here's a different skill. And once they're settled here, we could train her with more manuals. So we could give her essentially a second class, and she could level that up. And then we could have skill points from both, and we could use skills from both classes. So it's pretty cool. Like, it's kind of like you can build your own class. Like, okay, so she's an archer. Maybe we give her something that gives her extra speed or some healing so she could heal her summon, something like that. I think it's a neat system. There are mounts. I haven't really played with this system. I've just got to the point of unlocking it through my various just kind of test games. But you can get mounts and give them to adventurers, which will give them extra stats and riding effects and special effects, all kinds of things. The socialize tab. So the adventurers have different relationships. So far, I've only seen friendship and hatred, although I believe I've been told there also can be like attraction or lovers. And I've been told that if they're partied up with somebody they're friends with, they get stat bonuses. So that's a reason you might want to do that. So various people they know. Yeah, here. People, activation bonus 10%. Teammates, I bet you there's going to be some bonuses for that. Enhance, you can give them money, and they can level up their, I believe you'd call this like gear proficiency, like how good are you at using jewelry, and you'll get more stats on here. So like level 1, we would get extra HP and extra talent. Talent is a stat. Level 5, we would get more attack bonus and so on and so forth. And these get pretty expensive. So definitely ways to spend your money, that's for sure. I think that's what I want to cover here, and it'll show you what their current plan is. So like she's going to go hang out. That's what her behavior is at the moment. All right, let's take a look at this airship. I absolutely love whoever did this art. I absolutely love it. It's like a SNES controller as like a weather vane on their airship. Very cool. And then let's take a look at some of these character models. So I guess I didn't really talk about hers. Where did you get to? So one thing I did notice is that the picture on their art doesn't always match up with the character like 100%. So hers is, I call that decent. You know, it's pretty decent. And for the type of game this is, and when we open up some more features, you see how many models are going to be on the screen. They had to keep it kind of simple, but I feel like it's a good art style. Like, it gets the point across. Looks all right. Let's go take a look at some of these other people that have arrived. So we have an adventurer named Tit, and, you know, I think that looks, yeah, it's okay. It's decently like him. So another archer user of some sort, but his bloodline is apprentice mage. So I'm just going to peek in here. So his bloodline is mage, but his class or his manual is archery. So those two don't mesh up very well. So maybe this is an adventure you don't want to settle on your island. Or maybe you want to try to get him a different manual so you could have him get bonus out of his bloodline. And bloodline's its whole own system. There's all kinds of ways of refining your bloodline and leveling it up and getting a second one. Very intricate systems, which I absolutely love. I love the fiddliness of these type of games, so right on for me. We also have tourists, which somehow is abbreviated to tour. I'm not 100% certain. I know they're feeling the limitations of their UI size. You know, it was obviously designed for characters, Chinese characters, and not English. So that is a limitation they're dealing with. I'm sure the character for tourist probably fits in here nicely, but the word tourist does not. So tourists are visitors. They're not going to settle in your city. They're not going to go be an adventurer, but they come here with money to spend, and they have various needs that they want to do. So like she would like to go view things, and she would spend money doing that. And I like the character art. I feel like they have really interesting mix of characters. So like adult man's got like a little mustache and pretty slim build. And we've got some kids here. I think they look pretty decent. And this is like a worker. So I can't click on her because workers don't have stats. They're like your NPCs. Here's another adventurer. So you can see how much more detail they have on the character models for the adventurers. So Kelsang Guy, can't quite see all that name. Gayatso. Let's see what she rolled this time. So she's got the bloodline of a goblin. I'm sorry, that's my condolences. And her skill is healing. So this is a character, even though her bloodline here, each attack comes with 3 points of damage. Attacks have a 5% chance to summon a demon beast to aid you. Doesn't 100% synergize with this. She's a healer, so she would be pretty useful. I would like it if I could get this character to settle here. And I guess, assuming she can heal the summon, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And we could always level this up, and even if it's still kind of whatever, we could give her a second bloodline that maybe has some better synergy. So, it'd be good there. Oh, and here we go. So, Kelsang does not like Tit. She does not care for him. She hates him for whatever reason. And again, she's going to have her own personality traits. So, no, not there. In here, character, common. So she has nothing special on hers. So nothing there to look at. Let's see what else we got here. So then we have like a big dude, Zhu Chu. I like the variety of character models. It's hard to make characters in games that are, I wouldn't necessarily say he's overweight. He has kind of that burly, tough man build, but you know, that's a hard model to make in 3D and make it look pretty decent. I feel like they did a nice job. It's a little hard to see with this guy clipping into him, but I feel like it was a pretty good job. And then like another worker here, and he's got a pretty neat little beard. More workers. I like the colorful dresses and clothes they have. Pretty decent variety there. Gray-haired guy in the back. I know how that feels, man. And I think he must already be over there. And this gentleman, very important to us. This is the merchant. One thing I tripped up on when I first started playing, it would say the airship arrived. So I was like, oh, I can use the merchant. He actually has to walk here. Like, he actually has to come over here and set up shop before you're allowed to use him. So again, like, is it fiddly? Is it cute? Is it cozy? I don't know, but I like it. I like the attention to detail that has. So our tutorial is click on the airship, which we will do here. Airships come every quarter, and each time brings new tourists, villagers, and adventurers for you to recruit. The increase in reputation of the city allows the airship to bring more people. There's a chance to unlock new airships during the airship strength process. So right now we have the Homesteader. If we click replace here, there's all different kinds of different ships, and they'll have different stats that they have here. From here, we also could enhance it so we can pay to like have more adventures on our island, or they'll bring better consumables when they come. I'm not going to do any of that because our resources are super tight right now during the tutorial, but it's there. Recruit. So they brought 5 villagers. So we're going to recruit our 5 quote-unquote NPCs here. Spend 5,000 gold to do that. And we could have up to 100. So just of note that we do have a pop cap on them. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then merchant's not quite there yet. We'll let him walk in there. In order for the city to operate normally, some villagers must work for you. After all, you can't do everything yourself. It just so happens that there are some spare villagers on the airship. Let's go recruit some. What can the villagers do for me? For example, sending villagers to work inside a building can shorten the time to produce items and add special effects to the building. Okay, finally some help. Finally, someone came to help. All right, and well, I guess I got a little header. We recruited already. Congratulations, Lord Leviathan. Some villagers have settled in your city. There are not many buildings in the cities that needs workers. The most important job for villagers is to clear trees. Let the villagers cut down the messy wood around them, and we'll have more space to build buildings, and we will get more wood resources. How do I get the villagers to do work? It's easy. Just find a tree, increase the number of workers in it, and the villagers will cut down this tree. Okay, I'll get on it now. All right, so I kind of disagree with her there. I don't feel like the most important job is that, because we're going to clear all this out in somewhat short order, and having them populate buildings will become much more important. But for now, we'll follow along with what they want. So they want us to assign, we can have up to 3 different amounts of workers here, changes the effectiveness of how much work they're going to get done. So they're going to collect 30 timber a minute, and there's 200 timber remaining. I think with our other people, I'm going to clear out this one. So we'll just add a couple people here. So when you're doing these piles, they seem to just start at the top. If, let's say, I didn't want the timber, I wanted the fur first, you could just click there, and they will work on that first. So whatever they clear, we're going to do the whole thing, so it doesn't really matter what order they do it in. A group of adventurers also came to your city. They are the most important group of people to help us build the city. These adventurers came from different universes, and they came here to become stronger. What benefits do they offer me? Adventurers can help you kill monsters on the floating island, collect materials, and restore order to the floating island. At the same time, they have various consumption needs, which will increase the source of the economy in the city. How do they board the floating island? Your talent can break through the chaotic energy, establish a connection with the floating island, and teleport villagers directly to the floating island. Now that we've established a connection with the nearest floating island, there's a portal in the direction facing the airship. Please open it now. Okay, go now. Before we do that, I just want to say, I really like that you can see people walking around your village. So even like our tourists are here, even the workers that I can't click on, like she grabbed a basket, she's going to go work on clearing that out, and she's moving around. Like, this is so nice. Like, I like seeing people out and about doing work and whatnot, even if mechanically, like, they're already giving me, where is that one I clicked? They're already giving me the points for clearing it. So, like, it's not like they go here and do an animation to collect the wood, like, as a necessity, even though that's what they will go do. I like it because it makes the town feel alive when you get your population numbers up. And especially once you have adventurers moving around because they're so colorful, you'll see them go to the bar and talk with their friends. It's really cute. I really like it. Again, those really strong Majesty vibes. Okay, so this is our portal, and it currently lead to a treasure island. This should be leads to treasure island. The ancient parchment scroll guided a group of explorers to this place. So that's the same description as when we picked it. We're going to open the portal. 5 seconds to open our portal. Before setting off, there's some secrets about the chaotic energy of the floating island I want to tell you. Tell me. The floating islands were closely connected, but were disturbed by the chaotic energy. They've been isolated from each other for thousands of years. Therefore, each floating island has different environments, different civilizations. Chaotic energy has caused creatures on the floating islands to become extremely aggressive. The monsters are gradually destroying the floating islands. Your goal is to stop all this. What benefits can I get? Building the fire of civilization on a floating island can absorb the chaotic energy and transform it into what the city needs for development. In addition, you will get lots of resources by helping the floating island inhabitants in need of assistance. Okay, I'll check it out. There's my autosave. Okay. So once we have that open, if we click this island button, we can move to the island that our portal leads to. So to me, this is very Majesty. You can only see what your people have looked at recently, or when you capture these towers, they will give you more permanent vision. And you can already kind of see all the little monsters here. So this is what kind of gives me that, like, I'm a GM running like a RuneScape server or something feel, that you just have like these fields of mobs that, I mean, they make relative sense, but it feels like a game. And I like it. Like, I like the mood that it gives me. It's like one of those Sword Art Online type stories where it's like, oh, we're in a game and we're running a guild. Find survivor near the portal. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So our adventurers are teleporting down. So we can see there's Kelsang and what else is here? Oh, that's her. She summoned like a penguin, it looks like, from her goblin bloodline. A demonic penguin. That's a little scary. All right, here's the survivor. Hey, somebody, help me. Anyone here? Is anyone here? Do you need any help? It seems that I'm really going crazy. And someone is talking in my head. You're not crazy. I am talking to you with my consciousness. The legendary Lord Leviathan. God, my prayers have finally been answered. Do you know who I am? Of course, everyone on this island knows Leviathan. It's said that you can use your consciousness to directly talk to humans, and that you also like to help humans. Tell me, what can I do for you? Lord Leviathan, please help me light up this lighthouse next to me. As long as the lighthouse is lit, my problem can be solved. Is that all? My friends are lost in the fog. Once the lighthouse is lit, we will be able to find each other. I will leave here safely after I get their supplies. No problem. I'll send adventurers to do it. All right, so we have bounties here. So I can't select, like I'm trying to like grab this hero, Kelsang. I can't select her and be like, go here and do this. But what I can do is I can say, look, I need somebody to occupy this tower. So I've got a flag, and I'm going to put it here. Occupy. This is a D-class mission, and you can raise it. So we're going to make this a C-class mission, because this is important to me. And if you want, you can pick who to assign, or they'll auto-grab missions for themselves. You know, they'll go to the Adventurers Guild and grab their first C-rank mission. So we'll go ahead and do that. That's going to give them satiation points. It's going to make them happy to complete missions, and that's what allows us to invite them to live here. So we'll click yes. If we select again, they auto-assign themselves, the 4 people who are here. And if we hit play, we'll see that they're going to come over and try to complete that mission. In addition to occupation, there's other ways to play, such as exploration. If you're interested, let's explore slowly later. We still have important things to deal with. What is it now? Although the buildings in the main city can maintain our basic life with adventurers, if we want to make the town more prosperous, we need something, items, and some buildings. So what should I do? Lord Leviathan, let's go back to the city first. Okay, let's go back and have a look. So I'm actually going to stay here a second. All right, so they finished that mission. They captured the lighthouse, essentially. And now we have more vision. So we want to go out and find where there's more lighthouses to light them up. But we also have to be careful because they have their own stats and whatnot. So these level 6s here, if I sent them over here, they're going to struggle with the higher level mobs. So we're going to give them some time to level up. Adventurers have already started their adventures on the floating island. The resources on the floating island are abundant, and they often get some loot. These loot are very helpful to us, and the town can use these loot to build new buildings or craft other items. Can I ask them to hand them to me directly? Of course not. We cannot directly ask for loot from the adventurers. After all, this is a civilized city. How dare you ask that? However, we can obtain these things through trading, and adventurers can also benefit from it, and everyone gets what they need. Since we need to trade, we will need a trade house first. Please build a trade house for adventurers. Okay, but I still feel like they should hand it over to me. Apparently I'm a greedy whale. Maybe the name whale's a little on the nose here for that. All right, so we've learned from before we need to light up the trade tech. So we'll go to tech. It's pointing it out to us. We'll unlock it. While I'm thinking of that, let's go to our lab. Let's just queue up some more research. So we didn't do iron ore yet, so I'm just going to select that, do max and research, and stone, max and research. And if I were to unpause, I'll just go ahead and show it one more time. You can see that those would start running down. All right, over here now, we're going to produce a trade house. Make. And I'm going to peek ahead a little bit here, because I just know that we have our merchant here. And he comes with orders. So he wants to buy things from us. So since we're prefabbing these, we could prefab a village dormitory, and we could sell it to him for 3,000 coins. And I think if I can afford to do that, I do have the resources. I'm actually going to get that queued up, just so that we can do that before he leaves, because money can be kind of tight. Like, money really does make the world go round, who would have thought. So completing these orders, especially in the early game, like her hint said, is really good. That's a decent amount of money. He also has things he'll sell us, and we can upgrade those. Remember, from those upgrades, so like if we wanted better resources, we could try to upgrade that so he would bring better resources. Okay, and we're going to let it run here. I'm going to speed it up, let those buildings build. They're working on the trade house currently. We can see our workers diligently working on clearing things away. And there's our trade house. Okay. So, this one. I love the look of this too. Like, it's got like a celestial deer that pulls this merchant carriage. Now, I'm going to want this kind of near the portal, because if adventurers have to come back to sell, I want them to sell and then immediately get back to work. But I also want to be able to show that, so I'm going to put it here so I can notice when people are walking back and forth, at least for now. Just kind of take a peek here. Yeah, I just love the details, like the spices that are drying and like the little material drawers. Very cool. Oh, I think I clicked there and skipped a text. I'm being greedy, essentially. I hope that was just a joke. There was a greedy Leviathan that coveted wealth of adventurers. As a result, the city was wiped out. Not a person left. All right, let's move on. The trading house is a special space created by the deer's spiritual consciousness. It looks small on the outside, but has a boundless interior space. Maybe they should have painted it blue. Is there anything special? After the adventurers get loot, they will sell them in the trade house, and you can buy the goods you need at very low price. It doesn't matter if you don't find the goods you need. As long as you choose pre-ordered goods, the adventurers will find them for you. Although the trading house is still empty now, after the adventurers return to the city, they will sell goods. Let's enter the trade house together and familiarize ourselves with the operation interface. Okay, let's go. Oops. If you're in the build menu and you click on something, it brings up the UI to automatically move things. If that happens, you can hit escape or just no and back out of there. And again, it doesn't cost anything to move, so it's not a huge deal if that happens. It looks like a truck on the outside, but it's actually a trading house run by deer with a special space inside. The trophies of adventurers can be summarized for players to buy, and the trophies will be recycled regularly. So, this is the auction house. Your adventurers go get loot, and they come back to town to sell it on the auction house. I love it. It's such a cute idea. So, we can see these are things that people have already put up for sale. We could buy 3 grapes. Alternatively, we also could put in a pre-order and say like, oh, hey, I want a one-time delivery of 100 grapes. And as people get grapes, they'll come in here and try to fulfill your order. It's a cool system. I love that. So we can directly get some resources, but other things we can't. Like, I don't think there's a way I can directly get velvet, for example. So we're relying on them going down there, killing mobs and getting drops, and then coming back to town to sell it to us. I just love that mechanic. And with the pre-order system, it's nice. Like, it would be really frustrating if I needed 100 broken weapons and I had to sit here and click one at a time as they brought them in. But instead, I could just put a pre-order in, and then as they come, I will get them. We've been busy for so long. Do you feel a little tired? To be honest, I'm super tired. A little. Not just us. Adventurers will also feel tired after killing so many monsters. There is no place to rest in the main city yet. I think it's time you build a pergola. What is a pergola? Adventurers are accustomed to sleeping in the wild. As long as there is a place to rest, they will appreciate that. Adventurers will rest and heal in this building and pay you for the bed, which will add income to your city. I'll do it right now. All right, so we're going to go to tech. And it auto bumped us over there, but we've been in the city foundation. Now we moved over to the consumption tab. We've got the pergola here. 3 soft straw mats were laid in a temporary thatched shed on the side of the street. Villagers will leave new straw mats regularly to keep them clean and comfortable. At the same time, they can also place level 1-2 beds for adventurers and tourists to recover their rest value. We'll unlock that. And just like always, we're going to go over to our maintenance center, and we're going to queue up a pergola. Oh, well, we do not have enough stone. We need 75, and we only have 50. So I'm going to go here, trade house. I'm going to search up, see if we have any stone for sale. We don't yet. So they just added the not listed tab. Let's see if this is working good. Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. Yesterday when I was playing, this wasn't translated. So even in just the patch between yesterday and today, they've translated these new UI elements. So they are working. They are on that hustle. And this is important because I need stone and nobody was selling it. So quantity 0. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to pre-order. I want 50 stone. I want a one-time, and I want to open forever until they fill that. I'm going to hit pre-order. But at the same time, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to move my workers, and I'm going to just get some stone for myself. So I'm going to really move workers because we're going to be held up on that. Oh, and somebody, yeah, so there was one. So we just had, Tit came over here, and he sold whatever he had in his backpack here. In fact, let's go check somebody that's on the island, see what they're picking up. What drops are we getting from Treasure Island? So Zuchu, what are you getting, buddy? All right, so he's picked up a puppet doll, some thatched grass, a hunting mark, crocodile skin, beast meat, broken weapons, original Koji stone. So look at that, he's got some of the stone we want. Rose seeds and chaos herbs. So he'll work on getting drops, and then when he's full or whenever he decides to come to town, he'll go over to our trading post and put it up for sale. And that's how we'll get more resources. I just absolutely love that system. I don't know, like, I assume that different monsters must have different drop tables. And if that's the case, that's really interesting to me because there's different maps. Like at the beginning, we could have chose between the 3 initial ones, and I believe there's more than that. So, like, yeah, I just love the idea of we're going to go to different islands and we're going to collect different goods. All right, there's some of our stone came in. Let's queue up that pergola. Make. And I don't want to miss this merchant, so even though I'm jumping ahead, I'm going to sell that dormitory. Just to make sure I get that money, because they're paying just so much for that. Let's see. Crocodile skin and slime jelly. Let's go ahead, and while I'm thinking of it, since we have to wait for production anyways, we want crocodile skin. Okay, it took me just a second here. I'm not sure. Maybe I had space in there or something, but when I researched skin, it just popped right back up. So we are going to pre-order a one-time order forever, and we want 20 of those. Pre-order. And I just know the merchant tends to like that as a kind of a common order. So I would love it if we could just start buying those up. And then maybe next time he's here, we would be able to just turn those right in. So set up an order for 20 of those and pre-order it. So if we click pre-order down here, we can see the orders that I've got up and how many we're looking to get. And our pergola finished while I was doing that. So let's go to buildings, pergola. Let's see, for this one, I think we're going to tuck it just right in here. So if you need to come back to town for a quick power nap, it's right next to the portal. We only have a few simple straw mats now. Although we just started our business, we don't have to be too shabby. Don't forget, there's also a wealth gap among adventurers, and the richer ones will choose higher quality beds. It's time to build a workshop. After that, you can make beds in the workshop. Is there any other use for the workshop? The workshop can not only build beds, but also other handicrafts, which is the lifeblood of the manufacturing industries of our city. Got it. I'm going to build one now. All right, so as usual, we're going to have to go into tech. We're going to have to unlock our workshop. And since I'm thinking of it, we're going to go to the lab. We're going to queue up maximum research we can do on that one. I'm not going to do this yet because I'm buying those for something else. All right, and we need a workshop, please. And and they left. So our merchant friend is leaving, so he is not open anymore. But I did that one just to get that extra money. All right, our workshop's building. One thing to keep an eye on up here is it shows you how many of your villagers are busy and free. And when you're, especially when you're doing this resource collection, you want to make sure you're keeping them busy. All right, place the workshop. All right, for now, I think we're just going to kind of stick this as far in here as we can get. And then once we clear this out, we'll do some rearranging. But that's what our workshop looks like. I like the little details, like the little schematics they've got in there and little storage area. Very nice. Building a bed is a top priority now. Let's start with a simple plank bed. How to make plank bed? First of all, you need to light up the plank bed technology, and the workshop will unlock the corresponding manufacturing slot. After unlocked, click on the plank bed to start manufacturing. Just wait for a while and we will have a new bed. Don't forget, there are still some free villagers waiting for your assignment. Send them to the workshop to make plank beds. Most of the villagers are very experienced. After adding some villagers to the workshop, the work efficiency will be highly improved. Okay, I'm going now. All right, so we are going to want some villagers, so I'm going to pop these off for now. And we'll pop them in here. We need to, yeah, here's one where like that UI is on top of it, so we need to close that first. And she said, primary bed, here it is. So we're going to unlock plank beds, thatch beds, and fur beds. And we'll come back to our workshop, and we need 10 plank beds. Hopefully we've got what we need. Yes, we do. Go ahead and tell them to make that. And by adding people in here, we're going to change the amount they could build per quarter. So if I lowered the number of people, 42 versus 67. And a quarter is like a quarter of a year, but it's also 15 minutes. So I quite like that time scale in games. Not too fast, not too slow, in my opinion. And you can see those up here. So like our airship's going to arrive once per quarter. So in 3 minutes, we'll have a new quarter. And here's our calendar. So it's year 1 summer. We've got 6 tourists here. We've got 4 adventurers. While they're working on those beds, another thing I thought I'd show, absolutely, in fact, I'm going to pause it because I'm going to ramble here for a minute. I love this little chat box. This is what first gave me an idea of like, it's almost like running an MMO. So these are our adventurers, and they're having conversations about things that are happening to them or things that are happening in our city. This city is so desolate, isn't it? Am I alone? Because that's when she first got here. When will there be new people to, so lonely. It's a really nice city. It makes me feel amazing. What do you think? I feel the same way. The scenery here is really beautiful. I especially like the waterfall over there. Splashing water and shining rainbow. So she likes our waterfall over here. I was impressed with the streets, which were spacious and clean. Yeah, my streets that I built, yes. But they have these little conversations, and some of them are really cute. Like, there was one where they were talking about, like, smuggling monsters onto the island to run an underground, like, sideshow. And, like, they were worried that I was going to find out, and it was really cute. I really love this. One of the suggestions I made on their Discord was I would love this screen here to be moved to the side. Because by default, when it's really tiny, you can't really see, like you can't keep up with chat like that. I need to keep it open so I notice when they're chatting, because these are all worth reading, in my opinion. It's good dialogue. It's good dialogue. All right, let's pop ourselves into fast speed here for a second. Finish up these beds. Now, for these first episode or two, when we're in the heavy tutorial, I'm going to go kind of slow here. I find this a very cozy game, so I'm not really in a rush. Hopefully you're enjoying just kind of seeing what it's like, and if you're getting the same vibes I am, I do strongly suggest that you pick it up. Our first business is doing very well, and many tourists and adventurers are ready to rest. It's time to list the plank beds on the pagoda to make more money. Okay, I'm off to make money. So we're going to go over here. And I have to close that. See, that's just right in my way here, unfortunately. All right, we're going to go to edit, and we're going to place our 10 beds. So now somebody that wants to come over and use that could use the straw mats, or if they can afford it, they could up themselves to the better beds. Every time the airship lands, it will bring some tourists to come visit. They are full of curiosity about the culture here. When tourists wander around, they will be attracted to the stalls and buy their favorite products. All we have to do is empty their wallets and let them go home contented. Do you have any recommended businesses? At this stage, we can build a craft stall and sell crafts to increase our income. Great, I'm going now. And I need to remind you, you need to produce the products you will need the workshop before you list them. Okay, I remember. All right, so we're going to go into tech. We're going to unlock, we're going to need souvenirs, and we're going to need the craft stall to sell them. So we'll come over here, and we will queue up a craft stall, and then we'll come over here, and we'll queue up some fur dolls. Looks like they want 10 for this tutorial. We'll make 10 of those. Where are you guys? Why aren't you coming to do the mission? Sorry, the network is not available. Please resend. Hi, I'm not online right now. I'll contact you later. Am I the only one who remembered to come do the task? Initiate a video call. The user you're calling is still in the toilet. Please bring some toilet paper later. So they're just trolling this poor dude who wants to go do his quest. Yeah, that's great. I love that dialogue. Okay, that being said, I see that we are just over an hour here. I'm going to go ahead and call the first episode here. I know we've just been doing tutorial stuff, but I don't want to rush through this. I want to show what the tutorial looks like. And once we've gotten through the tutorial parts, then we'll really get into the more creative parts and fiddling around with more of our adventurers. Like, I already know, before I forget, I want you to be on my list because I want to keep track of her. She's one I want to recruit for sure. All right, so if you've been enjoying this one, please leave a like. That definitely helps. And if you are liking the content, either from this or my other series, there's Matchless Kung Fu if you're feeling some more Kung Fu Wushu action, and there is some Against the Storm if you want some more city builder action. Great series I've got on both of those, some good tip videos. Check them out if those would interest you. Otherwise, make sure to check back in, and I will have some more Leviathan's Fantasy up on the channel in a short while. I will see you later, builders.